Every once in a while, you come across something that raises your brow, but in a good way. That same thing that makes you take a second look. It's not a supercar, but you're spending a surprising amount of time staring at it, thinking to yourself, ooh, I want to drive that. It's quite possible that's exactly what Honda intended when they put this Jazz RS together, because, well, it's a looker. Allow me to take you through some of the aesthetic changes that the RS has over the V and the VX. For starters, you've got a dark chrome front grille. The front bumper, including the area of the fog lamps, is more angular, giving it a sportier feel. Also, you can find carbon fiber accents. Down the sides of the RS, you'll find body color side skirts, power folding mirrors, and 16-inch rims that are both beautifully blacked out, which I have to mention, when I first brought this car to the office, the boss saw it and asked me if the other variants of the Jazz have blacked out mags. When I replied no, he implied, well, it's the RS or bust, which I have to agree because they look good on Rally Red. The rear too has a different styled bumper, also with carbon design accents. Plus it also has the one thing that you can't miss even if you tried, the rear spoiler. All in all, these additions make the RS look quite zippy. Now while we're back here, let's talk about the car's space and versatility. On paper, the Jazz has 384 liters of space, which is quite a lot considering that the car is shy of 4 meters and is only about 1.5 meters wide. That versatility though, man, that kicks in when you fold the seats. In what I can only describe as a ballet on Broadway. You've got to see this, come. Lift the latch, and as the backrest tilts forward, the seat moves forward in unison, which reveals an almost completely flat bed and an enormous amount of space, which I figured there was really only one way to show just exactly how much space there is back here. Yep. Well, call me a monkey's uncle. It fits! The interior is pretty refined for a small car. You've got 3 cylinders up on the dash, which make up your tachometer, speedometer, and your trip control. You've got a 7-inch touchscreen infotainment display, which doubles as your rear view camera, and that's pretty clear. Right underneath, the controls for your air conditioning, which is a plus for most, a minus to some, because it's touch and there's no tactile buttons, so when you want to manipulate it, you actually have to take your eyes off the road, which could be dangerous. Now, the cabin, the seats are pretty firm and supportive, and it's got orange stitching that can be found, and it's not too much. Now, this orange stitching also comes through to the steering wheel, which has your controls for your cruise, your infotainment system, your cell phone buttons right here, and not to mention paddle shifters. In the back, there's really not much to report. There are no air vents, no USB ports, no center armrest, and you've only got bottle holders that are on the door. But the amount of space back here is just wild. Look at the amount of headroom. And check this out. That's my normal driving position. Dangkal! Wild! The engine is a very lively 1.5 liter, found on the previous model and also on the current Civic. Now on Eco mode, which I actually prefer, the engine is much more polished, a lot easier in stop-and-go traffic. Now if you take it off of Eco mode, that's a different story altogether. It's like a kid on sugar at a children's party, bouncing around like there's no tomorrow. It quickly builds speeds in very short bursts. With its premium look and feel, you'd expect a cabin that's a little bit quieter. Unfortunately, road noise and engine noise does creep in and creates somewhat of an echo inside the cabin. Visibility is above par for a smaller vehicle. Found on the A-pillars are these quarter windows. Now, however small you may think they are, they have a huge influence on the driver's view and are a very welcome design. The Jazz has the same engine as the current City, but it is half a meter shorter and 30 kilos lighter. So what does that do for fuel economy? Well, we conducted our own tests, and inside the city, traffic and all, on EDSA, Ortigas, Shaw Boulevard, basically I went looking for traffic. Not the smartest thing to do, but we did it for you anyway. We were able to clock up 7.5 kilometers to the liter. Now that's just in traffic. Then we took it out of the city, so open roads, stuck to the speed limit of 100 kilometers per hour on the highway, and we were able to get a whopping 21.9 kilometers per liter. That's pretty impressive. You know, for a small car, it seems like it wants to show off and hang out with the big boys. And oddly enough, it can, namely the Civic and the City. Engine, check. Okay, maybe not the Civic because that is a turbo, but the City for sure. Fuel economy, check. Space, big check. The Honda Jazz RS is available at 1,058,000 Philippine pesos. Now, considering everything that you see here, inside and out, I'd say you'd score 1 for the little guys.